Om Namah Shivaya, friends. Welcome to Dots of Destiny. As we are nearing to the year 2026, I have come up with the video of each ascendant, how 2026 will be good in few pockets, good or whatever, the good, bad, not very good, average. In the professional financial front, which has become very, very important because we are at the present moment dealing with lot of uncertainties, as can be seen, and those who are astrological enthusiasts, they know that Saturn's transit into Pisces has given into lot of challenges in the professional front. So that will be a sector. Next comes the health part, because without health, nothing is achieved. So since Jupiter is very fast moving and changing every 3 signs in a year, so health or the total overall well-being is also in bit of a shaky condition. So that is the second point. And third is the educational factor also, because many students are gearing up for different kind of exams, and their lookout for the same and how they fare in that, these things are also important. Rahu and Ketu, Jupiter, Saturn, um, these four major planets, they are in most prominent nakshatras. I can say like that. At this present moment, you see Rahu is in Shatabisha, own nakshatra, and Jupiter is in Punarvasu, again own nakshatra. Saturn is in Purva Bhadrapada. It will go to Uttar Bhadrapada in the second week of January, and that is its own nakshatra. Mostly throughout the year, it will be in Uttar Bhadrapada. Ketu will also enter Mula nakshatra in the month of April. So four major planets that we take during our prediction of the new year sequences of things happening in, or fructification of events, that will be very prominent in the coming year. Yes, it is the year of the sun, and lot of governmental changes and policies is also expected in this year. Nonetheless, that is mundane astrology. Here today, what I'll do is that these main areas of a horoscope I'll focus on for each ascendant, and with example of charts, so that I will be able to show how transits and dasha, they match or do not match. And dasha is very, very important, however good the transits are. If you are running a good balanced dasha, however bad the transits are, you will be able to sail through. But opposite will not give results. That is what I am going to show. With each ascendant, I will take up at least one chart to show the difference and how the things are happening. So with much more saying, I'll start and with the analysis. But yes, one more thing I will say, though I'll make a financial, because see why I am doing this video presently, whenever I try to make videos which are relevant to at least the people, those who are watching me. And at this moment, for the last 3 months, October, November, December, yes, finances is the main topic that has been coming up to me. And my previous people, those who I'm engaged to, I regularly basis, they contact me in a month, once, twice, whatever. They have been asking for the security or the prediction whether the finances will be stable next year. For that, I have to give you certain points regarding that. Now let me say this one by one, so that whenever you are also looking into your horoscope, watching so many videos, you must have had some, now little bit you have garnered the things, that how things work in a horoscope. So first look into the second house, the 11th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house. These, and the 9th house, five houses. Five houses are very important for your financial improvement, continuation, or whatever you can call it. Second house obviously is accumulation. Whether you will be able to accumulate, the second house and the second lord is also very important. So the dasha, any planet, if you're running the dasha of second house, the main focus of the planet is wealth and family. 11th house is your extra incomes, your gains, these things. Your, maybe you have a double income, your income comes through different, if you are earning, somebody else is, you have a secondary thing also. So that kind of a thing. 11th house, your gains through networks also, especially for business, very important. 8th house also very, very most important for business people, second from the 7th. And also it is your property, your insurance, sudden money, and share market dealings also, where you uh, up and down, the things that happens with the 8th house. 9th house is when fortune is favoring you. That is very important. You get suddenly a promotion and you have given some hike in your payment. Maybe you were thinking, but you were not very sure about it. So 9th house is your fortune, how much it is favoring you. That is also very important. Now, that is why Artha Trikon becomes very prominent. So 2, 6 and 10, this is your main Trikon for generation of money. Now, whether it serves your wish fulfillment or not, that's a different thing, because wish fulfillment is 3, 7, 11 desires. But Artha Trikon is the basal chakra, I can call it in that way. The Mooladhara, which roots you to the ground and makes you get money or sustenance through that. That is 2, 6, 10. If in your horoscope, you can check that also. If you have many planets over here, then you will see that is your main focus in life. And it is given to you, it comes to you, opportunity comes to you. So that is also there. And you can be a very busy person also if you have many planets or prominent planets, like I have seen a horoscope with Ketu in the second house, Saturn in the 10th house, Jupiter in the 6th house. So you see, it goes without saying, this person will be very, very busy, and his main focus of area, that spirituality and all these things may take a later phase in his life, but main will be how to stabilize in this environment, in this 3D world that we live in. Now, another thing is that your moon nakshatra is very important to give you the check of wealth or the goodness that the other planets will be able to give you. Now, how is that? Suppose I have whatever nakshatra you have, moon nakshatra, I will present to you over here. The first nakshatra is Janma, then the second nakshatra, third nakshatra. In this way, from there, whichever nakshatra, suppose Jupiter is transiting. Suppose Punarvasu, now Jupiter is from moon. How many counts it is from your moon? So that is also very important to understand, that which nakshatra planet is transiting, and that planet, however benevolent it is, whether the transit is actually giving you good results or not. That is also very important. So this way also you can find out your understanding of. I'll give an example for that. So first let me complete this. So first I said the money houses, second the Artha Trikon, the moon nakshatra from where the main planets are transiting. That is very, very important. Now, fourth comes your Arudha Lagna. From the Arudha Lagna, because see, you can find the Arudha Lagna if you have a Jagannath Hora, and there it is given actually. So finding the Arudha is like the places away from where the Lagna Lord is. That is your Arudha Lagna. So, suppose I have my Lagna Lord in the eighth house. So, I count from the Lagna to the eighth house, and again from the eight, I have to count eight places, which is the third house. So, third house is my Arudha Lagna. There are certain exceptions, like your Arudha cannot be the seventh house. So the first, like that, there are certain examples which are there, but if you want to just shortcut and find it, then you will find it in the Jagannath Hora. It is given there, your AL, Arudha Lagna, that is very important, the Pada. And A10, A11, all these will be given in that software. So when prominent planets go through these or Upachya houses from these, then also you tend to get better money focus in the professional front, or even maybe education, some very important things happening in your life. That is also a very, very important point. I always make it a point to look, and whenever the Arudha Pada is activated, then I see prominent events also happening in the person's life. Or if a planet is transiting 11th from the Arudapada, 3rd, or 6th or 10th, then also main events, financially uplifting something, some events will 100% occur. Then comes for me is Indu Lagna. For today it is last but not the least, obviously. Indu Lagna is from, it is decided the ninth house from the moon and the Lagna, whichever the Lord is. There is some colors of the Lord is given, you have to calculate it and you get the Indu Lagna. Now, Indu Lagna is it states about the wealth of your horoscope. If prominent malefics are transiting Upachya houses from Hindu Lagna, you will grow in those periods. So such kind of things are very, very important. Now, this is a synopsis I wanted to say. Whatever, this is very important. You know that why I am saying this. Now onwards, I will try to put some of these things in my monthly reading, because, and whenever you also see your horoscope, you can a little bit have a knowledge of these things and what is happening, because sometimes a very good looking dasha may not fructify in the way that we are thinking, because there are intrinsic details about that dasha also. In the Shadbal, how much the planet is it really sitting for giving you the results? That is very important. So these things are very prominent. And now let us see how every ascendant in the specific three areas that I was talking, how it helps them for the new year 2026. So jump on to the timestamp. Leo ascendants, the major transit of Jupiter is happening still in your 11th house. So the first May month, till the May month of this year, the money flow should be good. Financially, you should feel better, and many financial decisions that may have been pending, that can also be again resurrected, because it is a retrograde Jupiter, the fifth lord in the 11th house. So decisions will be taken and again revisited. It is in Punarvasu. Now here, legacies can also be achieved in that can happen the whole year. Even when Jupiter goes into your 12th house in exaltation, that time also legacies can be, property from father, insurance related things, or if you're supposed to get sudden money, all these things are favored this year actually. That is why financially it does not look to be a bad year. Saturn in the eighth house, the problem, Jupiter is transiting from your 11th house, then it comes into 12th house, and then last 2 months, November, December, it comes on the Lagna. So all these transits of Jupiter are result giving. Now see, 12th house is also the house of expenses. Expenditure, when as Jupiter is a growth oriented planet and it expands the things, expenditure can happen during the stay of Jupiter in its exaltation in the 12th house. At that point of time, you can get property related things can also happen. Suddenly your finances may get engaged in buying real estate, cars and vehicles, all these things, or going to foreign lands. Maybe your progeny, those who have the age of progeny to that category, they can go to foreign lands for studies. So expenses are also there. That is why you have to be very prudent in your understanding of where you are putting the wealth and how you are utilizing it, because wealth generation is good this year. But Saturn, the eighth Saturn that you are having a dhaya, if you Leo moon, uh, also if you're a Leo lagna, also Saturn will give some impediments in the eighth house. There will be some delays in professional matters also. So but whenever Saturn is looking at the second house, because whole year it will be doing that, it will make you manage with your finances also. And your approach will be quite realistic in the way that you want to deal with your finances. You want to save it, you want to invest it. All these things should be a very pragmatic approach. So that is one thing that Saturn does in the eighth house. um, so financial and professional matter is that, because see, it is aspecting with the third aspect your 10th house, and it will give you certain conditions that you have to now uh, dig deep and put more efforts into your professional front. 10th house is your karma. When Saturn is aspecting that house, it will not take from you lighter things or easier things. It will put you into perspective that how you deal with your professional front. But that is not bad in a way, unless that you get frustrated with the trials and tribulations. But again, that depends on the dasha. That is very important. That is why you must check if your prominent planets are anywhere transiting in Indu Lagna or the Arudha Lagna or A10 Pada, A11 Pada. These are very important also in determination of the wealth generation of that particular year. Now, this is a very important thing. And then Rahu Ketu is on the axis. See, this is 1 and 7th. Rahu Ketu is like you are a little withdrawn, and at this moment of time you are contemplating a lot of things, and your partner can be in a very prominently doing certain things now, because Rahu promotes that. Check on the health front is very very important, because here the two malefics, Rahu and Saturn, all throughout the year, it will be in the lower part of your horoscope, and so the lower portion of your body can invite unknown kind of health issues that may happen. Suppose a simple thing as gain of weight, that when Rahu Jupiter transits the 6th, 7th, 8th, there is a tendency of gaining weight. So that you need to be very cautious about what you eat, how your lifestyle planning is very important. And obviously from the month of March, April and mid of May, when Mars and Rahu, Mars and Saturn conjunction will be there, At that time also you have to take care of your mental and physical well-being. Saturn will not let spare you too much with your wealth health front, health and wealth both, because Saturn will create a check and a realistic approach towards that. Health also, small changes in your health, if you are very indisciplined in your way of health, then definitely a overhaul Saturn will make you go through. Be very much aware when Saturn is in the 8th house and Jupiter is in the 12th house. You know, 12th house is hospitalization, and these kind of health issue expenses can be incurred at that point of time. So not always, but just that for the sake of it, you have to be very careful with health this whole year. And still things can persist because the major planets are transiting in watery area and your 8th and 12th house. One thing about your mental well-being and your education area I'll speak a little bit about is that foreign countries, going education for abroad and all these things can be good, because Mars position from May onwards will be really good for you, Leo, starting from Aries, the 9th house. But getting into any kind of competitive examination and winning this year can be quite difficult, given the position of Saturn in the 8th and Jupiter when it goes into the 12th house aspecting the Nicha Drishti of Jupiter in the 6th house is not very fruitful. So if you, just to put into perspective, that if your expectations are very high, then it can create a problem in those areas. So overall finances, I see it is in a good hands, and if you are pragmatic and you know how to deal with it, you will sail through well. Yes, certain months can be a little difficult, that is also there. Expenses can be high, that can be the issue. Regarding profession, you will be putting your tooth and nail into it, because things will not come very easily. You can go for a change of job also, that is also very much, many people, Leo ascendants, have already done that this year, so that can also be there. Health is a very important factor this whole year also, as you are running an 8th Saturn and a 7th Rahu. Do not feel, physical health is one thing, mental health can also take a little bit of worst turn if you're running that kind of a dasha, because Ketu is on the Lagna. So little introvert, taking into spiritual practices, some mantra jap if you can do, or taking in your own time and not too much mingling with people can give you relief in these kind of situations, because understand it's not a very easy year when Ketu is still on the Lagna and Saturn is still in the 8th house. So this is the overall. Now see, I will show you a horoscope over here. This person is running a Ketu Dasha, Mahadasha, with a Mercury Antardasha. The last part he is in Ketu Mercury, and then he will be going into this year only, he will change the Dasha to Venus, which is also in the 12th house, if you can see in the horoscope. Now see, when that kind of a Dasha persists, then you can understand, if you Ketu and Mercury are in the 212 axis, that is just one house here and there. These kind of dashas usually gives lot of impediments. So the 8th Saturn and the 11th Jupiter also cannot, though 8th Saturn will put more depression and more hindrances, because already this is the 12th house dasha. Mercury will keep this person agitated because Ketu is there near this Mercury transiting. So it is not a good dasha that he is running. In this dasha, he can feel that because Mercury is on the Lagna, he wants to do certain things about with networkings and money, because Mercury is the 11th and the 2nd lord. But understandingly, when Ketu is on the Lagna, no hasty decision in this Antardasha of Mercury should be taken. Otherwise, Ketu will immediately can do money losses. Networks can go into, some people, you can come into problems with people. These things can happen in this kind of a dasha. Now when he goes in the middle of the year in the Venus Mahadasha also, now Venus is the 10th lord and the 3rd lord sitting in the 12th house. It's a 12th house dasha. So see, a change in the profession is inevitable, and also it can give a change of place also, because 12th house, to make the dasha run and in your favor, it is not very easy, because here Venus is sitting in the 12th house and it is in Aslesha. So this is not a very easy dasha that the person is presently running and will be going from the middle half of this year. That is why this kind of dashas makes the transits look even more difficult. That is why dasha is very important. If the dasha is good, then even a difficult transit can be handled. But if this kind of a dasha runs and the transits are already 8th Saturn, 12th Jupiter, Lagna Ketu, then things will again and again reach blocks. It will not come to a smooth conclusion. So that is what I wanted to say about Leo people. Though this year is, you have to keep yourself very calm and lead the year, and there will be moments of frustration, no doubt about that, but it has to be overcome, and again continuation with the journey is there. So this is your 2026 health and wealth condition. Virgo Lagna, the year 2026 starts with Jupiter in your 10th house, and it is retrograde over there. It is your 3rd and the 7th lord, and in the 7th house Saturn is sitting. Now here the financial condition or the professional front is, see, it does not look bad when we see from the transit, but I will show you at the end of this thing how a dasha can change and take up lot of issues in the process. I'll show you by an example chart. But Saturn in the 7th actually is not a bad situation for Saturn at all. I find like that when Saturn is in the 3rd, 7th and 11th, it gives better results. It does. But yes, the sign is Pisces. This is one thing, but it's a Digbala Saturn. Marriage issues can see some delays over here. Business overseas can go for an overhaul. You can, if a person is doing medical business or any hospital related business or any service industry into medicals, into drug shops and all these things, this is good with Pisces Saturn in the 7th house. Logistics business is also good. Import export kind of a thing is good. Health and wealth and health related lifestyle related kind of business is also good over here when Saturn is in Pisces. But the flow of the business will not be very smooth, given that Saturn takes a lot of time and energy and input from the person. So this is one thing. Now 10th Jupiter professionally, it is it really does opens up many avenues for the person. And because Jupiter is transiting now in your 10th house for a long time in Gemini and then going into the 11th house, so this is a great way of the continuous flow of finances. Because in my preface of this video, I have already said the Artha Trikon houses 2, 6 and 10, they guarantee you work, continuous flow of money, if always the dasha is the prerequisite for that. But transit wise, this year is really good for the Virgo people as far as the financial flow is concerned. There are many people who are having lot of impediments, losing job. It is difficult to get a job over here, because Rahu Ketu axis is also supporting you, Rahu being in the 6th house. It is a good time for all these things. transit wise, there is not a problem. Relationship wise, yes, there can be certain problems that is there, because Saturn in the seventh, because it is the fifth lord coming into the seventh house, does not promote the easy growth of relationship. Nonetheless, Jupiter's transit into the 11th house can bring in relationships, and also it can culminate into a strong bond or marriage, something like that. Now that is why I feel for Virgo ascendants, as it is, I've seen Virgo people are very sorted people mostly. They have a lot of patience also. This is a good transit wise. It looks professionally and financially, does not look bad. Simple. Health wise, Rahu in the sixth house, it creates some health issues. It does create, maybe due to tension, maybe due to hyperactivity. Saturn also in the seventh house aspecting the Lagna, you can go in for some correction of health. That can also happen. Health wise, I cannot say it is a great time, but it is not a bad time either. If you are a disciplined person, if you keep your things well, unless and until the natal horoscope has promise of chronic disease or very bad diseased conditions, then Saturn can really create a problem over here in the seventh house, and Rahu also in the sixth house. Because Rahu Ketu in the sixth house, sometimes what happens, the kind of diseases in the health it brings also is sometimes not recognized by the diagnostic field. So that is also a problem, because Rahu Ketu are Chaya Graha. The medical tests or all these things can sometimes fail, but yet the person does not feel totally physically fit. That kind of situation I have recently faced with a Virgo person, and I know this happens when Rahu Ketu transit sixth, or it is there in the sixth house. These kind of situations sometimes it happens, especially Rahu in the sixth, because Rahu expands the thing. It is Rogrin Shatru. So one thing over here is that because Jupiter goes into the 11th house, it feels optimistic. The kind of transit Jupiter gives in the 11th house, your networkings can increase. Rahu wants to give you some loan. Financially, it is a time to secure yourself. And if you are taking a loan, keep it a little trimmed down, because Rahu can inflate it. That is how the characteristics of the planet is. Otherwise, this doesn't look to be a problematic year as such. Now see, education wise, if you are planning for any competitive examination and all, yes, Rahu can give you an edge. But if it is a very tough competitive exam, that must reflect in your natal chart. The 6th lord in the 11th, 11th lord in the 6th, or 5th lord in the some good kind of combination should be there for the highest order of competitive examinations. That can be there. But anything which is competitive, Rahu likes that in the 6th house. That is also a thing for the Virgo as of now. So education wise, competitive exam wise, it is not bad. You can feel serious about it, and also your partner also can, your horoscope shows that your partner may also gain better monetary conditions in because of your transit. That chart will also support if that situation happens. Now see, there are certain things like checking out the Aruda Lagna, Indu Lagna, A10 Pada, A11 Pada. That is very important. 2026, if any main planet is transiting to these padas, then also you get very prominent results from big planets like Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, Jupiter. See, some people are Virgo people I am meeting, they're telling that yes, we are listening to that the transits are good, but nothing too much fructifying is happening. Now see, this is the horoscope, I put it in front of you. This person is running a Saturn Mahadasha, and the Antardasha is Sun. and then in the mid of 2026 it will change into moon antardasha from sun. He is trying to go abroad. The conditions are also there nonetheless, because Saturn Mahadasha in Pisces with Ketu usually takes people to foreign lands, far distance places and all these things. So he's looking for an outlet. That is his main criteria why he came to me. So what I said is that, see, Saturn and then Sun Antardasha. Sun is just in the 6th house. If you put Saturn in the Lagna as a Dasha Lagna, then Sun is in the 12th house. So the person must get an offer at this moment of time, because Rahu is also transiting over his Sun and Moon at this point of time, especially Moon, which is in Sattvisha. So that's why Jupiter, it is an apt condition where the person is looking for a better change in job, because Jupiter has enforced that being in the 10th house now. Relationship problems is happening for this person. He's married. Saturn activated, because see, Saturn returns. He's 29-30 years nearly now. There is some rough patches in the relationship, which Saturn does. It tests the relationship when it comes in your 7th house. It's not easy, no doubt. But if the person is pragmatic in the approach, they will be able to maintain the relationship. Yes, Saturn Sun is never a easy dasha antardasha. Saturn Moon, again it is 12th from Saturn, that is also not easy. But definitely the transits of Jupiter Saturn in the Kendra will take him to foreign lands and distant lands, and most probably this will happen when Jupiter will cross over to Cancer and he will start his Moon Antardasha. So that one kind of a desire fulfillment will happen at this point, and also Ketu at the later part of the year will come and join Jupiter in the 11th house. So because Ketu is now in his 12th house, so definitely the condition is there. The dasha is also supporting him. Now hindrance is that it is a 2-12 dasha. If you put Saturn on the Lagna dasha, as a Lagna dasha on the Lagna, then Sun is 12th. So any dasha which is 2-12, 1-4, 1-7 axis will be difficult. 3-11 is the best dasha that one can get actually. 1-5 is also good. So that is the reason he is facing these kind of situations. That's why in 2025 this result is not fructified yet, but definitely this result will happen. His D10 also shows that, and definitely he will be able to make the best use of Saturn in Pisces and later Jupiter going on to Cancer, and then his one of the long-term desires that he has been thinking will be fulfilled in these two. So that is how the dasha puts a very important perspective to the person. This is very important in understanding that dasha will have the first say. When and where the dasha has a similar trend with the transits. Now transits will put the last stamp on the dasha that is already running. So this example I gave to make it understandable easily how the dasha and transits, they work in tandem. Otherwise it's a good year for you Virgo ascendants. If the dasha is a little favorable, at least 1-2 good events and major events can and will happen in this year 2026. Take care. Libra ascendants, the year 2026 brings to you Jupiter starting its transit in the 9th house and Saturn in the 6th house, Rahu in the 5th house and Ketu in the 11th house. So here you see because this year, from the time Rahu Ketu and Saturn has changed its sign, it's not been easy. And that's why one of the signs is Libra, whether it's Libra moon or Libra ascendant especially. They are facing a lot of difficulties and very slow progress, because first and foremost Saturn is in the 6th house. 6th Saturn, though always it is said Upachya Saturn is good, But sixth house Saturn is never easy, neither with the health part, neither with the wealth part, and not also with recognition. So, these three things. You are not favored, first and foremost, in the professional front. You are not recognized. You are working too much hard because you, somewhere within yourself, you know that you need to prove yourself. Otherwise, you'll become redundant. So that kind of a treatment in the sixth house Saturn does, though it is a yoga karak for you. But that is the story of sixth Saturn. And this result you will get when Saturn comes into the seventh house and aspects the exalted, it will put an aspect on the Lagna. You will get better results from there onwards. But as of now, because Saturn is in the Trik Bhav and also aspecting the 8th house and the 12th house, the professional front looks very dim. Change of job also if you do, nothing much will come out from it. That is the first thing. Now see, Jupiter is in the 9th house. The flow of money will happen, but 9th house is like, because there's a third lord in the 9th house, right? So when third lord is a house, it is a lord of efforts. Whatever efforts you are putting, the money coming is quite trimmed and again slow. It is not, because see, Jupiter is not a great planet for you. That has to be understood. It is the third and the sixth lord. So that is why when the transit of Jupiter in the 9th house is usually good, but financially and work wise, or where you are getting some kind of spotlight, that is not happening with this transit of Jupiter. When it comes to your 10th house, the money flow should be better because it is an exaltation, and the 6th lord coming into the 10th house in the Artha Trikon, it is putting its aspect in Scorpio 2nd house and the 6th house. But what happens, 6th lord in the 10th house, your competitors are also quite strong. And how much you do work again over here also, you're not taken too seriously. So third lord and sixth lord coming into the 10th house is not doing very great. Yes, it is better than the 9th house, but still this is not a very great transit for you. The 10th Jupiter in exaltation, 6th lord going exalted in the 10th house. Your competitors are also equally strong like you. That's why, see, this is a fact of this year too. I cannot say that it's a great year that you will be running, knowingly that the professional and the finance front can be a bit challenged or uphill, downhill. You have to be very cautious with what kind of decisions you take. It may feel that suddenly you want to quit your job. Don't do that. Why? Because Rahu is in the 5th house and Ketu is in the 11th house. Rahu in the 5th house is aspecting your Lagna. Rahu will give certain sudden these kind of tendencies, which is not too good, because Saturn in the 6th house can make you sit just like that if you suddenly quit anything and you want to jump because you are too much frustrated with the conditions. So I will advise you that this is the year where you have to be patient and see the good news. If it is there, it would be great. But it is not that much, and this year you have a very big transit of the Lagna Lord from the 12th and the Lagna. This shows that the tension escalates sometimes towards the end of the year also, where Venus will be in debilitation in the 12th house aspected by Saturn. Health, very, very important from September onwards, very important. Saturn in the 6th house, Venus in the 12th house can give health problems. 100% it can. Or you go for a checkup by yourself and some certain expenses. Then ultimately Venus comes on Libra and you are better off, that is there. But this kind of a condition this year you will be facing regarding your health. So this is very important. This is starting from the month of September, when Venus goes into debilitation, the 12th house. October it will come on the Lagna, again retrograding back to 12th house, again then finally on the Lagna by December 2026. So, and also another thing is that Ketu is also testing you in the 11th house there, because sometimes there is uneven flow of money. Ketu and Rahu both in the 11th house, they give money, Upachya houses and also malefics, but sometimes the flow, most of the times the flow of money is sudden and not in a systematic way, like Jupiter in the 11th. So that's why the story does not look very, easy. And this happens. With, for now it is you, it happens when the transit again shifts, it is for some ascendant else. So take care of your health and wealth, which is very, very important for this year also. Now see, I have put up a horoscope over here. As it is, the transits are not favoring. This person is running a Jupiter Mahadasha with a Mars Antardasha. Neither Jupiter is a great planet for Libra people, nor Mars a great, because Mars is Marak planet also. She is going through a lot of troubles in her professional area, and every month end she is facing huge target issues to complete the targets, and that is why her tension is escalating very high. She is working very hard and she is feeling that she's unable to make the ends meet. It's a very tough time, no doubt. Jupiter, if you put as a Lagna, Dasha Lord, Mars is fourth from Jupiter. That's why the struggle is even more. Whenever the Dasha, there's a 1-4 axis Dasha, 1-7 axis Dasha, 2-12 axis Dasha, the struggles are also immense at that point of time. So that is the reason already the transits are not favorable. If a little bit of the Dasha is tough, because Jupiter and Mars that this person is running, both are not great friends with Venus, Saturn, Mercury. So she's running a totally against Dasha, but she is somehow sustaining through the time. It is not at all easy. That's why if you're running a against Dasha, it is even more difficult. But this year, try to put your wealth as much as safely you can, use it safely. Don't, because Venus will be reaching 12,000 debilitation. There can be sudden expenses coming up to you, and health is a big priority this year for Libra ascendants. So please take care of that. I'm also waiting for some better days for the Libra people to come, because in the people, those who are approaching me, because astrology is approached when a person is really in dire necessity. I am also unable to give much of a remedy over here. Saturn's remedies are very difficult, Sixth Saturn is actually like putting you into a tight spot, and there will be so many impediments in the financial and growth prospect and everything. It is a patience, high level patience testing time. Chant Shanishcharaya Namaha, keep fasting on Saturdays, because a bad time has to be gone through, cannot be reversed in that way. So take good care, Libra ascendant. Scorpio ascendants, this year has Saturn transiting in your 5th house, and Jupiter is now presently in the 8th house in the beginning of the year 2026. Then it goes into your 9th house and then the 10th house. Now see, there are two things about this thrikon arrangement of Saturn Jupiter. One thing is that when the malefics transit the thrikon, that is 1, 5 and 9, they push you ahead, that you have to get up early and you have to make a new you. That is how Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu they behave when they're in the ninth house. I mean, in the trikon, first house, fifth house, ninth house. Saturn is in the fifth. Whatever decisions you will be making, your intelligence can feel a little in the professional field, because Saturn is the professional planet. You can feel that you want to go out all and make certain decisions, but it can give you a fear over here, or a dullness. That is a problem with fifth Saturn most of the time. Saturn is aspecting your 11th house. Now, gains, the financial gains that Saturn in the second house also it is aspecting. Financial gains will happen, but slowly and steadily. There is no chunk of money coming in over here when Saturn is aspecting the 11th house and the second house. But all through the year, you will be getting the finances will be running. That is important over here. Virgo is the aspect of Saturn is good on Virgo in the 11th house, and also Sagittarius in the second house. You will think new avenues and new ways of investments also, as fifth house is the house of investment. Financially this year is good actually, stabilized I will say, if not good and great. Now Jupiter it is your second lord, it is now in the 8th house, and it is aspecting the second house also with Saturn. Finances will come and go over here. You can make some big purchase, investment, business people can going for new growth, new business where you need some investment. That is also there in this year. But Jupiter aspecting the second house while in the 8th house, and then it is going into the 9th house in its exaltation. The second lord brings in money, fortune wise. You get it through the favor of fortune. And then in the 10th house for the last 2 months is a Upachya house. Money wise, this should be a stabilizing and good year. Actually, I will say it should be a good year. Do not jump into situations from the beginning of the year only. Suppose a change of job you want or something like that, because Mars is in good dignity now in January, in February. From mid of March, it will have a conjunction with Rahu, then with Saturn in April. Once Mars crosses these two impediments, then it comes by the middle of May month into the 6th house. From here, you can start looking for change of things in the professional front. If you're a job searching person, 6th house Mars is good. If you're a business person, let Mars come into Taurus. So this is a growth oriented year. Whatever dasha you are running, if the dasha is bad also, if I take a bad dasha also, it is not, maybe you go through lot of waiting, but still Jupiter, when it is in exaltation, the 5th lord comes into the 9th house. The fortune favor will somehow put your things into track. That will happen from the month of June to the month of October, 5 months. Finances should develop at this point of time. Your decision making will be good, though you understand that Saturn and Jupiter both is in the Trikon. Here, the purpose of these two planets is life-changing transit for you. In your perspective, in your investments, in your intelligence, in your understanding, in your professional field, all these things. It is good to see two big planets in Trikon. But anything good also comes with lot of weightage and lot of waiting, and for the higher good you have to work. So it's a good year actually. I don't know how much, if the dasha is good, then you will be able to feel at the end of the year you have achieved quite a lot. Rahu Ketu's position is a little problematic, no doubt. Whenever there is a Kendra Rahu Ketu, first 7 axis, Rahu in the first or Ketu first, Rahu 7, whatever. or 410, and in the 2nd and the 8th, these are quite challenging positions of Rahu Ketu. So definitely this whole year Ketu will be in Mula from Magha Nakshatra in Leo, and so a change in the job front is more or less inevitable. Some good name can also come, but it should not inflate your ego, because Jupiter, Mars, Ketu 3 will be making very important conjunction over here in the month of November, December, end of the year. Mars's journey from your 6th house to the 10th house will be very dynamic and courage giving, and you will be able to get the better opportunities and for your better growth in this year. So it is overall, I cannot again say it's a bad year. I don't want to say. If you are going for educational purpose, also it is good. If you are visiting foreign countries, Saturn is in Pisces, then also it is good for your profession, your studies, your higher learning. All these things are favored, and also your health also, because Jupiter's aspect will be on the Lagna. If any rectification needs to be done, it will be done, and you should feel much better. That is how I will put the health factor also. So overall it doesn't look good, doesn't look bad at all, financially, professional wise, education wise, health wise. 4 factors. One problem is relationship wise. 7th house is not getting the aspect of Jupiter. Saturn is aspecting the 7th house. Relationships can be a little bit distance dream. That can happen because Saturn makes you put the pressure over here. Unless Jupiter reaches the 11th house, the fructification of relationship is difficult at this juncture, because this is a very growth oriented transit. It is you that is benefited from the transits that is playing out in 2026. Have a look at the horoscope that I've put on the screen. The person is running a Saturn Dasha with a Moon Antardasha. Now Saturn is in Pushya Nakshatra in the 9th house, and Jupiter will be transiting over this Saturn. So whenever Jupiter transits this Saturn and Moon is in Taurus, it is again the axis over here. If you put Saturn on the Lagna, Moon is 11th from the Saturn, which gives after all a good dasha. Pattern of the dasha is good. Yes, Saturn Moon is never easy. This person will have some definite upliftments in the professional front and its own self and growth and name and whatever regarding his finance and profession. All this, certain things will come to a better end, but only going through rigorous pressure and full dedication. That is what this Jupiter transit over this Saturn will make him do. So see, this is a very classic case of, if you are having a dasha also like Saturn Moon, you will have tension. Because see, Saturn Moon, anytime when it is falling into a dasha pattern, or it is in the same opposite axis, 212 axis, or whatever it is, kind of a Sarasati, kind of a tension oriented arrangement. Because the transits are good, it will favor him and give him the kind of result ultimately, after going through the process of quite a lot of work and dedication and putting all the things meet at a certain point. Financially also, if the dasha is good, if the transits are good, you should plan in a better way. Not that it will all fall into your lap, because Saturn is in the 5th house. Your luck is not very fast moving over there. Saturn is the 3rd lord. The 3rd lord coming into the 5th house, luck is augured when you put in efforts, constant efforts into that area. Yes, Jupiter coming into the 9th house, the 5th lord in the 9th, aspecting the 5th house from there, gives a very good yoga when this will happen for the proper 5 months from June to October end. So nonetheless, this horoscope shows that even if the dasha can be a little tricky, it will give you the kind of result at the end after trials, tribulations, going through things which needs your attention. So Scorpio, it's all in all a good year for all the, all the four ticks should be there other than the relationship front. Professionally, it should be good, uplifting financially, health wise, and also education wise. One thing which is not looking very promising is the relationship front. You have to wait for it till better conditions comes, like Jupiter has to go into the 11th house for fructification of relationships. So have a good 2026, and I'll see you later, guys. Thank you.